Welcome back to the Data Expert. My name is Connor, and today we are going to tackle the LeetCode SQL Challenge number 4, article views. This challenge will test your understanding of filtering and, most importantly, comparing IDs within the same table. So let's jump straight into the data, and I'm going to select all from the views table. And we see here a table with multiple columns. The first one being the article ID. This identifies which article was viewed. Each article has its own unique ID. If you see multiple rows with the same article ID, it means different people or the same person repeatedly has viewed that article. So we see here article ID number 1 repeated twice. That's because viewer ID number 5 and 6 have both viewed this article. And then we have the author ID. This is the ID of the person who wrote the article. Every article is linked to exactly one author. So only one author has wrote the article. And this doesn't change across the views table. The same article always has the same author. And finally, we have the viewer ID column here. This is the ID of the person who viewed the article. That viewer can be a random user, another author, or even the author who wrote the article itself. And if we look at the challenge, the question here, basically what we need to do is find all the authors who viewed at least one of their own articles. In simple terms, we're looking for rows where the author ID and the viewer ID are the same person. So I can just say here, author ID is 7, viewer ID is 7. That means that meets the criteria that we want for the challenge. Okay, so another thing that's quite important to point out is that there is no primary key on this table. So duplicates might exist, i.e., or for example, if author number 5 viewed the article 5 times, they'll appear 5 times in the table. There'll be five, there'll be 5 rows for that author, which is obviously a problem. That's why we'll need to use the distinct statement in the final result. Using distinct will ensure we only return that author once. And then also the challenge is asking us to sort the, the table that we return in ascending order by the ID. Okay, I'll keep this as a reference. And I'll just do select all from for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a where statement. Okay. And it's I'm going to do a simple self match within that where statement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say where the author ID equals the viewer ID, because that matches the logic that we need to implement here. And I'll do this here. And great, you can see here that this table, our main table, has reduced down in size. And you'll see that we have returned rows where the author ID and the viewer ID are the same. 7 equals 7, 4 equals 4. But you'll notice a problem. I haven't used the distinct here. So I need to include distinct in here. And I'll do that in capitals. And you'll see now, great, we've reduced down the size to 2 rows. Previously it was 3, but now it's 2. And we need to order by the author ID. Yeah. Now, I'll do that there. Author ID. It's ordering ascending. They're looking, yeah, ascending. And then the other thing is that we want to basically bring in the author ID here. That's the only column that we want to return. And we want to use an alias for it. So instead of calling it author ID, we're going to call it ID. Great. I've now returned the answer. The authors, number 4 and number 7, have viewed their own articles at least once. So that is LeetCode SQL Challenge number 4 solved. A quick but useful one to reinforce comparisons within a single table. In the next video, we will continue to build your SQL skills one challenge at a time. So follow me on this journey from beginner to expert at SQL. Thanks.